welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the channel. I'm your host.
Shut up, dude.
But
That's boring as fucking all get out.
Tommy. It's going to be a real quick video. I just want to dive into it, so let's jump in. So with today's quick video here, I want to talk about how there's this huge rage bait that's being propagated, if you will, on Twitter, that I'm seeing a bunch of Sony fanboys post this image right here. I've seen at least 4 different fanboys, PlayStation fanboys, post this here. This one just so happens to come from Puerto Rock 77. I see a lot of his stuff, and he's just been going crazy with his rage bait here. And it's just really funny to see this. PlayStation fanboys are looking at this like a gotcha moment. With Puerto Rock, he posts this image and says, Microsoft described Baldur's Gate 3 as a second-run Stadia PC RPG. This same company released Redfall. If this doesn't tell you Xbox got shit tastes, nothing will. Skull emoji. Which I do agree with the first half, where Microsoft released Redfall in the state that it's still currently in, which is horrendous, and there's no excuse for that. But to go on and say they got shit taste, come on, my guy. You're really just propagating like rage just for clicks and views, dude.
Come on, son. That shit is unfair as a motherfucker, and we all know it. Ladies, you know it. Fellas out there, you know it.
Even the comments down here and under your post here, they're kind of going against you. I think second run means how it launched on PC first and is mainly associated with that platform. Second run isn't some kind of diss. You might be thinking of second rate. Yeah, but it's hard to make rage bait posts if you're being reasonable. BG3 was a surprise hit that no one could have predicted. That type of game hasn't been popular for like 20 years. Do you even know what second run means? Level with me here and be real. Literally none of you cared about Baldur's Gate 3 a few months ago. So I left a comment under MBG's post that he posted, the same thing as Puerto Rock, right? He says Microsoft referred to Baldur's Gate 3 as second rate. That's something. And I put down here, it's really not. You Sony and Xbox guys had nothing to say about the game in 2020 when it had early access on PC, which I was a part of. I played it in early access in 2020, and it was pretty decent then, but you can tell it was well in like early alpha. Like it was very, very, very early on in the development of the game. But I put on here, BG3 has come a long way from that time, and it wasn't until you guys found out it was coming to console that you try and use it as ammo for console wars. Silly. So I basically said the same thing, and that's really what it comes down to, is no console player really cared about Baldur's Gate 3 until it came out recently, until it had its full release, and people really that started to pay attention because it was so dry with the content that they were getting, with the games that weren't coming out or were coming out and they were lackluster, that it really took notice, that people really started to take notice. And it's so crazy that fanboys will try to use this stuff as ammunition. And you have articles that are put out where it says Microsoft dismissed Baldur's Gate 3 as a second-run Stadia PC RPG before it released. Larian doesn't blame them. So the article goes on to say, pretty much that Microsoft, second-run Stadia RPG. And it says, you'd think Larian might be insulted by the lack of faith, but the truth is that the Baldur's Gate 3 developer didn't think its RPG would be as big as a deal either. Larian's boss, Sven Vink, is on record as worrying that Baldur's Gate 3 might have peaked in early access. That says it all right there. Larian's director of publishing, Michael Dowse, said today in response for a Polygon article about the leaked comment that he wasn't surprised by Microsoft's expectation. There just isn't any existing data that could have told anyone how BG3 was going to perform, he said. There's no data saying that this game was going to be as big as it is. There's other games that come in, DOS2. What game is that? Divinity Original Sin, I think it is. The game is, that game released, and look, the data showed that this game was not going to be a smash hit like it is. My thing that I wrote down a couple notes here, I didn't want to forget, but I wrote that Baldur's Gate 3 was not in 2020 what it is today, and it wasn't. I played it. I don't know if a lot of you guys who are posting about this stuff here have played it either. I don't know, but I was there, and it wasn't what it is now. Back then, Sony Fanboys had zero to say about the game. PC elitists had zero to say about the game. Xbox players had zero to say about this game. And I just wrote a little list down of some games that have been released in shambles and have come a very long way, that have turned into games that are absolutely worth supporting now. Of course, number one is Baldur's Gate 3. We have Cyberpunk 2077, which has an expansion coming out on the 25th, I think it is. The game right now, I think, is in fantastic condition, but it released in a horrendous state. And look at it now. Also, another popular one that I play and millions of other people still play, it's called Fortnite. And if you were someone who doesn't just jump on the popular train, you supported this game when it first came out, before it was even a battle royale, when Save the World mode was the main focus. That's when I started playing it. But then we also have Apex Legends. The state that Apex is in now is not the state it was before, years ago. Halo Infinite, when it dropped, it was not in the greatest of states. Look at the multiplayer now. It's great. I don't know what to tell you. No Man's Sky, the game that everyone, all the Sony fanboys love to push in comparison to Starfield. When the game released, it released in shambles. Battlefield 2042, another game that released in pretty bad condition, and it's in it's in better states now. Another game that's super popular, especially in the streaming stratosphere, is Dead by Daylight. When it released, it was not released in the greatest of states, and look at it now. My point is, don't try to use this stuff as ammo for your console wars. It makes you look silly. It really does. And it's clear that it's really just rage farming. That's what it comes down to. And it's not just Puerto Rock that is doing it. So many other people are doing it, and it's just crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted it to be a real quick video. If you enjoyed the video, let me know down below. Do all the things. And as always, it's been your boy. It's been real, and I'm out. Later.
I'm at the